assalamu alaikum, good morning, khushamdi, ji ayanu, goeiemorgen, ishpata.
Dianu Pakaragal, Ni Hao, Chudashume, Washmale, Ohio Gonzaimes, Guten Morgen, Hola, Boyor, Privet, Kaifa Hal, Hale Shama Chatore, Ahlan Wasalan Marhaba Buna, Mucho, Gracias, Swabiap, and a very amazing good morning to everybody who's tuned into PTV World and are watching World this morning on a very fine Thursday morning over here in Islamabad, where Islamabad is going to be sunny. But ladies and gentlemen, with me, I have the very bright Shiza Hashmi and the very amazing Shazad Khan. Hello, Shiza. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, thank you so much for asking, but let me just correct you, it's not going to be sunny all day. Yay, fingers
Really?
crossed,
Why?
yes.
You think
Because
it's going to rain?
it is going to rain. It says in the...
You never know about the God's plan, man. So.
That is true, of course, but Alaji, I hope it rains because I absolutely love to see it.
Oh, come on.
And from the Margara Hills, of course, blackish clouds were coming in when I drove in
Right.
here. And also the weather updates on, well, my phone say that it is going to rain in one part of the day as well. Other than that, while Shazad checks, ladies and gentlemen, I hope every one of you out there is going to have a great day as well, sending all the great energy and positive vibes towards you. And for that, I think you have to start with a great breakfast.
Exactly.
So with me, I always used to take my coffee, of course, empty stomach. And a lot of people used to tell me it's not good, it's going to burn, whatnot. And I was experiencing all those things. And I just felt like I have to take my coffee anyway, so why not add something, you know, substantial with it? So now I did. So I have either a slice of cake or a dry fruit jelly in the morning along with my coffee.
Sweet cake?
Well, it really depends. So just lately, the one I'm having, I made it myself. It's not that sweet. I don't like sugar. So it's working out. But the key is breakfast, ladies and gentlemen. There's a reason everyone talks about it, right? Even your religion, even science does for that matter.
But you know, talking about breakfast does not mean that you have a slice of cake early in the morning, Shiza.
I mean, you know what? I have dry fruit with it, and then I burn it off by working all day. So I hope that matters.
Well,
as well.
I think that's
But I know in your case you have a paratha with desi ghee.
No. It's not an everyday thing as well. But you know, I think a day before yesterday when I woke up and I was like, man, it's been so long that I've actually tasted Ammi ke haath ka paratha. So you know, I yelled from upstairs. I was like, Amma, and she was like, yeah, what? I was like, you know, can you make me a paratha, please?
Yeah.
She was like, what's wrong with you today? You were supposed to eat brown bread. I was like, I just feel like it. She was like, okay, you know. And then at times, you know, your mother would actually come across a thought which you might not even normally think. And she was like, are you fine, beta? And I go, yeah, you're fine.
Cute.
So it felt like as if it was, God forbid, a last encounter, but it wasn't. And yeah, I have something very interesting to share over here. So now on my weather forecast, so all of the places I've been to, you know, I have those places on my weather forecast as well. So I'm going to let you know for all of the places, what's the weather like in all of the places which I've been to as well. So ladies and gentlemen, I do not even know where was this, but the first one which comes up on my phone is Santa Clara, and it's 8 degrees over there. It's partly cloudy. New York, it's 2 degrees.
Speaking Lahore, of US,
Lahore, it's 11 degrees. We'll come back to US one as well. Lahore, it's 11 degrees and it's foggy. Chicago, it's 3 degrees centigrade. Islamabad is 12 degrees centigrade and it's mostly sunny.
Swipe, man.
Yeah, swipe, man. There's nothing.
Well, fingers crossed.
I think that you were checking the weather forecast yesterday.
Probably,
yeah. So because after 12, you know, it's a newer day. Do you know that?
Oh, I just found out. But here's the thing, ladies and
gentlemen. All right, but we didn't finish. Yeah, Birmingham, it's minus 3 degrees centigrade. London, it's 1 degree centigrade. Manchester, it's minus 2 degrees. Southampton is 0 degrees, ladies and gentlemen, and Karachi it's 14 degrees. Dubai it's 17 degrees, and Matala Raja Pakistan International Airport, which is in Sri Lanka. Well, I didn't go to this place, but I happen to have the weather forecast for this because Lanka Premier League was on, and I had to check before the match whether how the pitch is going to behave. It's 27 degrees centigrade. I think it looks good, man. The weather is tropical over there. But yeah, now coming back to New York, where it's 2 degrees centigrade.
All right. So ladies and gentlemen, here's the thing. This just talking about New York reminded me of course, US, and then how yesterday it was a chaos in Washington. Shazad, you know, it was a lot of people, a lot of analysts are actually calling it the death of democracy and the death of the mother of democracy, that is the US. So yeah, so 20th of January is the day when Joe Biden will be sworn in as the new president, right?
Wonderful.
So the previous one is actually having a hard time accepting that, and we all know that. So yesterday, which was Wednesday, was a recount and a confirmation of all the votes. And of course, Joe Biden had, well, more, it was I don't know the exact figures, 306 to 232 for Biden and Trump respectively, right? So Trump didn't take it well, and then he tweets to his followers, you know what, this is not supposed to go how it's going. Not the exact words, but something along those lines. And the followers, which is a huge, huge rally, took it to the White House, went into the White House, tried to attack politicians over there. People and congresswomen and representatives were actually hiding under their desks.
Oh my God.
It was a stampede. A lot of police officers were even stuck in the stampede. One woman unfortunately lost her life. She was shot and then passed away in the stampede.
Oh my God.
The mayor, just immediately announced a curfew. Things still weren't under control. The army said, we're not going to come help you. And this was the latest when I last saw the news, and I think it's a chaos. And I really hope that people actually find it in time. And then, George Bush and then Obama actually took it to Twitter as well, saying this is the worst day of American democracy, which is true. So, things are not going too well around the world.
Exactly, and thank you very much for saying that. And I think that, you brought up a very important topic along, because over here, it's all about accepting your defeat. It's all about accepting what life brings to you. But
and it's not about you, Shazad. It's democracy. It's for the people. So just accept it's what is for the people.
Yes, that's true. But I think that, Trump is really not kind of in the mood to accept that, he's been defeated as well. And there's a reason for that. And the reason is because they say that America is the father of democracy. And there's a reason because, for example, if you go back in time from where I can remember, it was Clinton, then it was Bush, and then it was Obama. And, all of these three presidents actually had 2 terms in office as well. And one way or the other, Trump, kind of thinks very high of himself as a person.
Yes.
He's a businessman, he's a celebrity as well. And one way or the other, a lot of things which he did for the people of US, I think that the people of US do appreciate him for doing all of those things as well. But one way or the other, when you've earned so much, when you're at the top of your life and you're at the top of your career, it's really hard for you to accept a defeat. And I think that's the only problem which Trump's facing right now. And, imagine that people losing their lives just because of one single tweet he did. But I think that what the most stupid part within all of this was that, Trump still is in the office. So why would they go to the White House? Rather, they should have actually shown up in front of Joe Biden's house or somebody else's house.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how it's going to work out, but I think where you said that this was Trump's career's highlight, I think his career's highlight was when he had a cameo in Home Alone, right?
Yeah.
So
But I have one more question. Okay, so, according to the US Constitution, the president can only have 2 terms in office, right?
Which one is the
No,
only who had third?
yeah, I've asked you this question
You have asked,
before
but I
as
don't
well.
know the answer.
Let's see whether you still remember the name or not.
Is it Roosevelt?
When was it that, a president actually had 3 terms in the office? When was it? I'm not asking which president it was, but when was it that a president actually had 3 terms in the office?
I don't know. I know you've told me this, but when
it was World War. When it was World War, ladies and gentlemen,
sense.
then that was the time when the president actually had 3 terms in the office as well. Not really very sure about the name, otherwise I would have given it to you as well.
All right, but Shazad, here's the thing, with taking this an example. Lately, and actually not lately, for a year or even more now, I know, mashallah, you're very productive with your work because I see you taking off from this and then going off to different places and actually doing things and, making things work throughout the day as well. You're physically fit and it shows on your face, right?
Yeah.
But it wasn't always like this.
Yeah,
Sorry if I have to say it out, but
it
this is how it has been.
Yeah.
So I feel like, to my understanding, things changed a lot when you started investing in yourself through physical workout, going to the gym. Is it true or not?
I think that's 100% true, and everybody needs to kind of follow my footsteps.
No, but seriously, I've seen the transition.
Everybody's got a very different journey, but I kind of swayed away from work because it was very difficult for me when I got back from Karachi. The life over there was very glamorous. It was the glitz and glamour of the industry, and you would really be within the in people, and all of your friends, they're acting, you're acting, and you're doing different things as well. So I was a little upset when I got back.
Okay.
And once, alhamdulillah, my PTV world journey started, so I actually had to start from being a newscaster, which I didn't really like back then, but I didn't have any other options because my family wanted me to move to Islamabad, especially my father and my mother. So once I moved, I was very upset. I didn't have many avenues because I've had built a life over there in Karachi, and then you're living alone, you're a bachelor, you do so many things which kind of bring joy to your life. And I was working out when I was in Karachi, but eventually when I came down over here, I think it was most of the time I was eating or reading news. There was nothing else for me to do because I had to explore other avenues. And when I left from here, I was still a university student, and I got back after 6-7 years, so my personality had changed completely. And then I would eat, I would go out with friends, I would wake up late at night, doing nothing, think about things, and, I wasn't really able to kind of contemplate on what I used to be and what I wanted to be as well, and I wasn't going in the right direction. So it kind of had a very disturbing impact on
So
me.
what pushed you to actually finally start, going to
So
the
finally
gym?
what happened was that, I started to feel obese. I started to feel sick. I started to feel as if I cannot walk longer. I started to feel as if, there's nothing left in me. And
Okay.
yeah, and when you started to feel like that, you really want to kick back. You want to bounce back as well. So that was the time when I thought that, Shazad, this is the, and then I think that my father played a very crucial role where
Yeah.
he made me sit down. He was like that, that your friends should be a part of your life, but not your life,
True,
and I
true.
think that was the time when I actually realized that, okay, everything needs to be in balance, but how do I strike that balance? The first thing which came up to my mind was, because I used to go to the gym when I was in Karachi, I used to feel perfectly fine, and when your clothes fit you properly, when you look broad, your back's slim,
Yeah.
and your legs have some extra muscle, I think that you feel very energized anyways. And that was the time when I thought that, okay, now if I'm not going to go to the gym, otherwise, because I was starting with my 30th year, and I think that was my 30th birthday when I made a resolution that, okay, I'm going to go and start working out as well. And that's the time when I actually started working out. And every day I would just tell myself, because I used to weigh somewhat around 110 kgs, yeah, or 106 and 110, somewhere in the middle. It
But
used
it's
to
okay for your
fluctuate.
height, to be honest.
Well, yeah, but I know
Okay,
how
but
I
you
would.
didn't feel good,
I
nah?
know how I would feel, but I will actually look at myself in the mirror and kind of, want to compare it with when how it was when I was in Karachi. So what happened was that, I started going back to the gym, and I was like, hey, Shazad, you know what? You actually have to think about the very day. You're not supposed to think about the future. You're not supposed to think about what happened in the past as well. So every
Yes.
single day I would go to the gym and just push myself, okay, just today, just today, just today. So every single day when I used to do this, after 3 months or 4 months time, when I was,
Seeing the
yeah,
results.
when I was seeing the results, when I was witnessing that, okay, there's a change, I have strength, my skin started to glow, I was sweating, I could feel that, okay, that the change is good. And once you start to feel that the change which you're bringing in your life is good, that's the time when you feel good as well.
Right,
Yeah.
and you, I think you do agree with me where I said that ever since then, you personally feel like achieving things and achieving your goals as well, right?
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this one is actually for all the people out there who are probably struggling within themselves and not letting anyone around them know how to put their life back on
Yeah.
track. It's not necessary, and it's totally okay for you to lose track probably sometimes
Yeah,
for
you do.
different reasons. You don't do it intentionally, but situations arise, or people around you, or something around you just makes you fall off track. So how to get that hold back? Is it something that you can just do by going to the gym in Shazad's case? Is it something that you can do through meditation or through changing your lifestyle habits? There are so many answers to it, but is there just one answer to it? This is what we are going to explore today, ladies and gentlemen, especially after the pandemic, when I know more than 90% of the people are in deep, deep anxiety. I really hope that that gets done actually for all of us as well. It's been so long. So for this purpose, we actually got our hands on to someone who's really perfect to talk about this.
Yep.
She is celebrated in the Twin Cities pretty much for what she does. She has had amazing results and reviews from the clients. And she's here today to talk to you guys about holistic approach to getting the right mindset, to getting the right life that you want,
Yeah.
and how to achieve your goals.
And how to actually align your mind, body, and soul, ladies and
True.
gentlemen, and make sure that you achieve whatever you want to achieve in your life as well. Ladies and gentlemen, she happens to be the CEO of Holistic Heaven. She is Miss Sabah. Hello, assalamu alaikum. Good morning.
How are you guys?
We're
Absolutely
good.
perfect. How are you?
I'm perfect.
Was
Thank
our
you
chat
so
a little
much.
longer?
No, it was perfect. It was very interesting actually, and thank you so much for such a kind introduction, guys.
Well, you deserved it, first of all. And Samar Akhtar, ladies and gentlemen, she actually started this how many years ago?
3 years ago.
3 years ago, and now she has her own, of course, company and her own product line. We'll get to that, but Samar, for the people who don't know you,
Yeah.
who is Samar? Have you always been into, well, this kind of stuff?
Well, to begin with, I'm a holistic lifestyle coach, and in a nutshell, I make dreams come true. So that's like the.
I like that.
So that's like the line that I've decided for myself, and I wouldn't say, kid, when I say dreams come true, that it means everyone should, let's say move to Bali or start earning a specific amount of money or something like that. Because if anything, that's like detaching from that
Reality.
sort of thing. Like, when you attach your happiness to a dream destination or a dream body or a dream income, so you're like always searching for more. You're
Okay.
never satisfied. So if anything, happiness can always be looked into as, you know, it's a state of being in the present as well.
Okay.
So wherever you are. So I love, Shazad, how you mentioned, ke, you know, you had to really attach a goal to how you felt as well.
Yeah.
So it didn't only mean that a person looks into their body goals, specific physical aspects, but rather attaching it to the gift that God put in you as well. So like feeling, okay, I'm able to walk longer. I feel more energetic. I can, you know, give more of myself to my work as well. So it's all of these things when you combine, and the balance that you bring within your mind, body and soul that allows you to experience beauty in all areas of your life.
Wow.
That's beautiful.
So like relationships, your career, your finances, your health, your mindset, the attitude that you have towards life differs. It doesn't have to be कि आप एक dream destination reach करते. So when I say I make dreams come true, that's like you come into alignment in the present and start, you know, working towards that dream journey as well.
Exactly.
That's interesting.
Well, that's wonderful, and I like the way you've explained. And I think that, you know, most of the questions which I thought that I'm going to ask,
You
I think
already
I'm going to
answered.
pass on them, because the way she's answered, I think she's already come across so many questions of such sort as well. So, okay, I think it's very important for all of us to understand whether what questions to ask or the right things to ask as well. Which is why,
Absolutely.
you know, because a lot of our viewers right now might be thinking that, you know, Sama Wahe is actually so young, and she's actually calling herself, or we have introduced herself as, you know, holistic life coach. Now, for somebody who wants to coach us about life, we think that, you know, that the major part of their life they have lived, right? So, in the first place, how do you think that at such a tender or young age, you were able to kind of hijack all of what people couldn't in all of their lives?
Okay. So if that is surprising, then I might also mention that I'm also an ACC graduate and an MSc in professional accountancy as well.
Mashallah.
And I didn't quite enjoy being in the corporate, so my intuition, you could say, was always strong. So I spent a month in corporate and I was like, this is not for me. Then I got into teaching because that was, you know, the next best thing, where I felt like there was some kind of interaction. I felt like I was giving something to the world and not just sitting in front of a computer 9 to 5.
Right.
If that's your job, don't feel bad. You might enjoy it. It wasn't for me. But so it's about finding ke acha theek hai, you know, you do not want to spend your entire life and be on your deathbed at the end and think ke yaar, I lived a life that wasn't true to me. Like I was just pushing and pushing myself daily, and, you know, just following a robotic lifestyle, and this is where I'm at the end. So basically I got into teaching, and obviously it was very rewarding, like interacting with students and all. But then again, I felt like the system was,
Of course, flawed, to say the least.
yeah. And like I wouldn't really go into which school I obviously taught at, but generally I felt like it has become a business now. I even spoke to the management that I'd like to introduce something like mindfulness for students, you know, instead of, you know, your detention like concept, or like if a student misbehaved, so he deserves to be punished and all, which, you know, shatters his self-esteem even more. So I initiated, you know, I could introduce a program like that, but the response was, you know, it takes years to build a program like that, and probably the same idea that I look young, so I can't really bring that into the system. And so I then started to look into holistic living. So actually a relative of mine got a disease, and, you know, just being curious around, you know, him not undertaking the surgery and all, which I felt he couldn't really, you know, like it was very visible that it wasn't for him, but, you know, that was what was being considered. So then I started looking holistic ways, like alternative ways, and that's when I came across holistic living as well. And then I followed like an account or two on Instagram, and I felt like whenever I came across those posts, I would feel inspired. I would feel like instantly, you know, grasping something new and something more interesting. So that's how I started, and then I enrolled. So it's like, and when you say, okay, you know, if this, you know, impacts the journey with clients, if anything, I feel it makes it more relatable for them. It's like there isn't a huge generation gap where I'm not saying that older therapists tend to judge you, but still, like, you know, I have been through similar situations. I know what students have been like. I know what, you know, let's say relationship issues they have, what career, you know, if they don't feel fulfilled and stuff. So I feel if anything, this is, you know, an 18-year-old might just be a better holistic life coach than me, you know, based on his or her own experiences as well. So age, again, is just a number, and it's like what you what you put your mind to, and then if you choose to continue learning, then sky's the limit.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and that's very beautifully put as well. But Summer, now, if someone was to enroll with you, right? First of all, what are the, I don't know if requirements
What
is
are
the
they
right
signing
word.
for?
Yeah. What are they signing for? Also, like, in what condition or situation of their life are they that they need to sign up for this?
Okay, this is something I wish that people realize, that they shouldn't really wait until things are out of hand to consider coming into something like this.
That's true.
Holistic coaching, if anything, is something that should become a must on everyone.
Okay.
I might as well need it, because it's like a journey, and the sooner that you develop the right mindset, the right attitude, the right way to process your feelings, you avoid so much of heartbreak, you avoid so much of confusion, let's say, in your career, you avoid so much of decisions that lead you, down the road.
Yeah.
And with the right mindset, the right attitude, the right skills, the right vision for the world as well. So ek aapka vision for your own self, and then a vision that there's a reason that you're put amongst people, and the impact that like to tap into your God gifted potential, that should be the must. It's like you're not born to just come here and pay your bills and die.
Yeah.
Everyone has a certain talent ho gaya, gift ho gaya, whatever, and
Purpose to fulfill,
purpose,
right?
definitely, and that's what they definitely need to look into before all this stuff came in from school or from relatives, become a doctor, become an engineer or something like that. So before all of that, what were you as a child? What were you good at? What were you interested in? What made you happy?
Right.
What did you excel in? What did you feel good in?
Yeah.
All of that tends to be ignored when you get into this hustle of world, and like there's a term called masculine and feminine energies. So our world has become very masculine.
All right.
And in one way, it's good because now women are
It
empowered.
has become masculine. I think you should be looking like this.
Because we're always talking about this, no?
Okay, so masculine and feminine are like gender neutral.
Yeah.
Both men and women have both energies.
Do you know now?
Okay.
So women are, they're tapped into their masculine in a way that we're empowered, we're now good at work, we have control, we have focus. But both the genders are lacking on the feminine side, where we have locked up our emotions. We don't tend to, feel things. We just want to distract ourselves from, by doing the work and not looking into the wounds that we got as a child, maybe, or growing up in school. So it's like if 2020 had one thing to be taken out of, it would be the awareness,
Yeah.
So 2020 could be used as a tool to say it was the awakening as well.
Yeah.
All right, but Summer, now here's a question, and I think I ask this to almost every other life
Yeah,
coach
go
we
ahead.
have had on
Yeah.
the show as well. So for let's say for right now, I'm taking this for an example, for a 26-year-old who have had 26 years of experience and
Yeah.
things happening to them, can they come to you and be healed of the 26 years immediately? Is that possible?
No,
Why are
I
you
mean, I
talking
don't
about
have
me,
a.
man? I know I'm 26. Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, so there isn't really a magic wand because I do not, I do not say mera program join kar lo aur
you
zindagi
will sab
change,
kuch change.
But I do say ke, so my signature program was 90 days.
Okay.
And long before 90 days, so within 2-3 weeks, people are like, why did I not enroll earlier? Because it's like, and there are 3 things in the program. Ek hota the right system.
Okay.
So I'm not just saying go to the gym, eat well, stuff like that. That's outer work, which is crucial,
Yeah.
but there's also inner work. So what are some of the things that are stuck in your head that are holding you back, maybe even subconsciously. What are some of the beliefs that you have that need a rewiring? So money mindset as well. A lot of the people within Pakistan, not within Pakistan, but all over the world, they have a
Yes.
very limited money mindset. Why? Because growing up we heard कि पैसे दरख्तों पे नहीं उगते
It's a
and
standard,
stuff
right?
like that. Yeah, so it's like you have to work super hard to earn money.
Absolutely.
And I work probably 10% of what I used to work at school, and I earn probably quite more than that. So it's like
Were you earning when you were in school?
As a teacher.
As a
okay,
teacher, yeah.
sorry. I was like,
Yeah.
wow.
No, as a teacher. So basically, all of these are like beliefs that are stemmed from childhood. We've seen our fathers work really hard, and we are grateful for that. But like realizing that, within 2021, there's like new ways of being. There's new mindsets to adopt as well.
Yeah. And that's wonderful. Thank you very much for saying that. But we're going to hold that thought over here, ladies and gentlemen, because we actually have to head out towards a short break. But I have 2 questions, and I think that these 2 questions are interesting. Number 1, if God forbid, Miss Summer over here wasn't making as much or more money than she was from a college or a school,
Yeah.
would she still be doing that?
Oh.
And number two, we talk about mind, body, and soul being in sync, in harmony, or in synergy as well. How do we try to do that? I think that these are the two questions which I'm going to pose to her as well. Right now, we're going for a short break. Don't go anywhere. If there's anybody who need a bit of holistic life coaching, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you go wake them up. Make them
Bring
sit
them in
right
front
in front
of
of their television screens as well. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Stay tuned. Good morning. Welcome back to World This Morning, ladies and gentlemen, with the very energetic and today very positive Shazad Khan and Shaza Hashmi. So if you've missed the first segment, let me just do a recap. Today we're trying to talk about how, if there is an approach to actually, put your mind, body and soul in sync and achieve the right kind of goals for your life. Yeah. And well, for that we have a holistic life coach over here in the studio. But before we went out on a short break, Shazad had some bullet questions for her.
Exactly, because this is something which the CEO of Holistic Heaven said, and she said that, people have barriers within their own mindsets as well. And it's very important for us to kind of remove or recognize all of those thoughts which actually bring us down.
Right.
And while she was explaining it to us, she said that, that the money she makes now is probably, alhamdulillah, more than what she used to make, because she's actually done ACCA, she's done some MSc as well, and she was teaching a lot of students, and she's very happy with what she wanted to do, and finally she did pave her own way, which is great. But God forbid, if she didn't make the same amount of money or more of what she was making already, would she still be doing that? That was the first question. Please go
All
ahead.
right. So I think before I answer in a yes or no, I would say that I have programs for teens that I do completely free.
Okay.
So I think my intention with this was that I was when you realize that God put something in you,
Yeah.
so sure, money is there like a plus,
Okay.
but it's the feedback that you get.
So you would still do it?
I would still do it.
I think that's wonderful. Now,
That's
coming
very
down to the
nice.
point where when we talk about holistic life coach, like, and when we say that a holistic life coach is going to come, I think that the first thing we're looking at is that he or she needs to make sure that our mind, body, and soul are in sync. Now, what are the advantages of that, and how do we do that? Because you have a 90-day program, so it takes 90 days to align your mind, body, and soul.
Okay, so that's the signature program, but like generally within 21 days, you can shift your habits. 90 days to transform your journey, 21 days to shift the habits that you,
Right.
have.
It's like they say, कि अगर 40 दिन नमाज पढ़ लो तो आदत हो जाती है.
Right.
Yeah. So basically, there are many tools, and like you said, so working out was, the first step for you. Now, within my own journey, I felt that meditations really tend to be a game changer.
Yeah.
Because what happens is that the subconscious mind, when you wake up or when you're about to go to sleep, तो वो theta state में होता है, when it's more receptive of the beliefs that you can feed in or even rephrase as well for yourself. So meditation is a tool just say, you tend to first of all identify, you create awareness around your current life situation. Like what are the thoughts that are not serving you? What are the habits that are not serving you? And then you get to rewire them. So शुरू में बहुत नकली लगेगा, if you tell yourself that I am worthy of love, or I am worthy of the career that I want, and you state it in the present because you want your subconscious mind to believe as if it's already manifested. So you're like, I'm making XYZ amount of money, or वो आपका mind, in the beginning you're gonna be like, what am I saying to myself?
Yeah.
But when you say it repeatedly 10, 15, 20 days, it's like a new baseline being established for your mind.
Okay,
And
that's interesting.
Yeah, and it's like जिस टाइम पहले हम नेगेटिव बातें बोल रहे थे, and the mind would start believing that because on the daily it's like I'm negative, I'm not doing anything, I'm not productive, I'm not nice to my family, I'm not whatever. So like you're feeding the brain with more of this negative thoughts, and आप वही मानते जा रहे हो, you're becoming more and more rigid. So meditation, again, one tool to rewire your mind, the subconscious or your thought process as well.
And we would love to ask, how do we actually meditate? That's number one. And number two is that do you actually tell all of those people who enroll for your programs that you really need to check your surroundings as well? Because eventually what happens is that, for the kind of people you're roaming around or sitting down with, the kind of conversation they have, you end up having such
Of course,
conversations.
yeah.
So, how do you go about that? And what is the selection of words which you would rather choose to convey to them that, hey, you know what, probably you really need to change your friends or probably stay away from such people. So how do you do that?
And if they're married, then what do I say? Change your
A spouse, and often the spouse
Or
is
bring
blaming
her, or
as well.
enroll her to my program.
Yeah, and also
That's the
because of
best.
the coach, you're changed with me, right?
Yeah. So it's like that is,
Imagine, man.
So basically, but there are people who, so the first sale that I made of my journal, and then the first shoot I had with my journal, so I'm on this shoot and the guy is like, did you sell this journal to XYZ girl? And I'm like, yes, I did. So I'm like, how do you know? Like, is she in your university or stuff? So he's like, no, she's my fiance. And I've been dying to know कि क्या इसने enroll किया जो ये बिल्कुल बदल गई है. She doesn't fight with me. She's so nice. She's so kind. Like, what did she go through? I want to meet that person. और वो मेरा ही shoot कर रहा था, like the first journal shoot. So it's like, if anything, it helps couples as well.
That's
Because
nice.
obviously when you step into this version of yourself where you're calmer, where you can process your thoughts, where you can rationalize things, तो आपका response different होगा. When your energy is different, जिन्होंने सही तरह receive करनी है energy, they're gonna be different as well.
Yeah,
It's like it's a ripple effect.
exactly.
And so, but there are times when there are people who are like, no one in my family knows that I'm doing this, so मुझे call office में करनी है. I cannot do this at home because no one's gonna understand what I'm doing.
People like anonymity in this
Yeah.
case, especially, right?
Yeah, I don't know, around family maybe, like they're very open and raw with me. They don't feel that barrier at all. उनकी comfort zone होती है, but I think sometimes आपके सबसे close people, they are, you know, in between where you can go.
Yeah.
And this is something that a lot of Pakistanis are not ready to
Not
take
yet.
in.
Not
कि
yet.
Acceptance is
family
hard.
members can also be toxic.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and that is when it's most hurtful, because the family unit was supposed to be a place where you feel safe, belonged, and loved.
Absolutely.
And for someone to realize that I'm not getting that and to create that for themselves, would deserve all the credit, because at least they're starting with themselves. They're healing all the things that they didn't deserve to go through, and then to, you know, consciously create this new space for themselves. That is like a journey to take on.
Wow,
Absolutely.
thank you
And
very
the-
much for making this point, and I hope that people do understand. And it's not that you go and start labeling everybody toxic as well. I think everybody needs to look into themselves, because you know, just a few days ago, I'm sorry, I know that
No
you have a
problem.
question as well. So we friends, we usually sit down and we do our own catharsis, and we talk to each other, and we tell each other that, okay, you know, probably, you know, in a month's time, I've observed that this is something which we feel have changed in you. So it was an encounter time. You know, two of my friends were sitting right in front of me, and the one was saying, "Hey, you know what? I've realized that, you know, in a few days, I think that you are thoda sa pagal." And it is so hard for anybody to accept that. Okay, you know what? You mujhe thoda sa pagal keh rahe hai. You know, how can you or she say that? And then there was a point that where the other person said, you know, I think that this is how everybody needs to have conversation. That okay, give me a reference of something I did,
Absolutely.
due to which you thought that okay, and then he took a longer period to think about it, and he couldn't come up with anything. So at times there are people who blaming
just
you
want
just because of no reason. So please don't do that. Don't label anybody. Yeah.
No, absolutely. Because it does take a toll on your mental health as well, whatever you say to other people. Be mindful of the words you choose. But since we're short in time, very quickly, first of all, congratulations on this product you developed.
Thank you so
Is this your
much.
first of all?
First of all,
Yes, show it to the camera, and then also let us know what this does.
It's
Okay.
green.
This is your camera, all right?
okay, this is the camera.
It's
So
a dream
basically,
box. It's
yeah,
so
it's a
cute.
dream journey box, and it can be customized to whoever orders. So
Oh,
it can,
perfect.
so for example, this is like Aisha's dream journey box, and whoever orders gets their own name.
Nice.
And then there are like two signature products.
Okay.
One is my journal. So this is like a 4-week.
My time to win.
My time to
Wow.
win.
I like
So it's like when you've had a long day and you know you're by yourself. So raat ko kya hota hai, like a lot of people they tend to
Can you pass it to us as well?
sure.
Yeah, so we'll show you.
Okay.
Yes, go on.
So they रात के टाइम पे they usually go down this negative path कि अच्छा ठीक है आज ये गलत हो गया उसने मुझे ये कह दिया
Guilt
this
trip
is
होता
what
है ना इतना लंबा।
definitely so instead of that you really get to sit with yourself and you see the page which says my time to win. So it's like you get to win your thoughts, you get to win your the thoughts that you want to have, the goals that you want to set, the intention that you want to have for the following week or the following day. And so I intentionally kept like jo pehle 2-4 pages mein. So it's like a person is really analyzing their life so far.
Yeah.
That's
And
nice.
I've had the ones
Story
that I've
of
sold
my
so
life.
far, people are like within the first 2 days they cried and they released because the story of my life wala part hai na. When you really get down and you're by yourself and you're writing and you're really thinking how far you've come, everything that you have been through. And again, like Shizad said, कि toxic नहीं कहना चाहिए. Like we were having the
Yes,
conversation earlier. It's like people with unhealed trauma and they're projecting their stuff on others. So
And
instead
the
of
best part
projecting,
is that over here,
Yeah.
sorry,
No worries.
you can continue. So first, the book is actually going to let you know, okay, well, the things which you need to do.
Yes.
Probably tie your shoelaces, because you're in for a ride. And then they want you to write about your life as well. And I think that this is one most important aspect, because this is what we forget to do. We forget to shed light onto ourselves, and we are so busy with things which are around us that we kind of ignore ourselves. And I
Yeah,
think that's
absolutely.
really
This is a
important.
great effort. So also let us
Definitely.
know about the other products.
Okay.
Along with that, I'm going to throw you a question.
Yeah.
Where, because we're really short on time,
Yeah,
but I
let
want
me
to
catch
talk
it,
about
yes.
this.
yeah.
So, Summer, where just now you also mentioned before the show too, when we use the word toxic, you said toxic is not the right, it's a negative term, yes it is.
Yeah.
But then we're talking about the people who have unresolved trauma and they like to throw it on others. So you understand that, which means, of course, you get to hear and you get to be a part of a lot of traumas.
Yeah.
What kind of therapy do you need for that?
Exactly.
Let us know
Okay.
about that along
All
with all
right.
those things.
Okay. So basically, this is the affirmation card deck.
Okay.
And affirmations are important because of the self-talk. So like you're with yourself all the time, and so the conversation that you have with yourself is one that should be empowering.
Okay.
And the two words that are vital are I am. So we tend to use those words like I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I'm not going to make it.
We're hard on ourselves.
Definitely.
Yes.
And so this is like a 28-day program or challenge to like change the conversation, and you have like these are divided into 3 themes, so mind, body and soul. So the first 9 days are on body, and then the next
What are the first 9 days?
For
body.
For body,
So
okay.
like reframing your relationship to your body as well,
Okay.
and all that it can do. And then 9 days on mind, so like the thoughts that you have, the potential that you have, and then the soul part as well.
So how are these cards going to help us?
Okay,
Are there some
so-
cue words or something?
Yeah, so basically let's say that it's up to you if you want to pick up a card and just feel this is what I needed for the day, or you can go like day 1 to day 27 because they're worded.
Okay.
And so let's say that you decide to go day wise, so you have this first card which says
Yeah.
I'm committed to put myself first.
All right.
So
And we have
throughout
to
the
be
day,
with it.
yeah, and throughout the day you have this affirmation in your mind. Okay, I'm committed to put myself first, because let's say you come across a situation and this is the mindful question that you throw yourself, like, am I doing something that is putting myself first? And it doesn't mean in a selfish way, it just means to
I
prioritize
was
your
about
needs.
to ask that. I think you kind of caught that eye movement as well, that okay, I'm thinking, yeah, but this is what I thought, because putting yourself first, when we were kids, I think every time we were about to leave our house, I would rush to the front seat of the car. I was like, oh, I'm putting myself first, come on, let's do this. But yeah, thank you for saying that.
But like growing up, we tend to put ourselves akhir pe.
Yeah,
you
we take a
we
back
don't-
seat, right?
Yeah, so we don't prioritize self-care, self-love, and all
Neki
of
bhi hai na
that.
isme.
Kabhi
Nahi?
kabhi theek hai sare.
But let's put it this way: if you put yourself first in a way that you're taking care of yourself, your cup is fulfilled, don't you think like that beautiful version of you is what your loved ones deserve as well,
Exactly.
as opposed to like
The
a
best of
worn
you.
out version and stuff?
And I also think like putting yourself first is okay unless and until you're not hurting others
Yeah.
for the sake of
Definitely.
it,
Which
right?
is why what
Yeah.
we're going to do right now is that we're going to take this card deck. Please, can you, Shiza, get that?
Yes,
So I'm going to put it right in front of us, and Shiza's
Can
going to
you-
pick one card. I'm going to pick one
you
card,
do
and
that
Summer's
thingy
going to
where you-
pick one card as
Yes. And this will be my theme for the day, and I will stick
Yeah.
to it. This is
well.
my
So
commitment.
yeah,
Love
let me
that.
shuffle a little bit as well, and we have to stand by it.
Okay.
And next morning when we're going to come over
We'll
here, we're
talk
going to
about
talk
it.
about it as
Perfect.
well. Okay,
Love
so
that.
Summer, even you're going to get to pick a card.
All
Even though
right.
Summer might even know that what the card says, but
Right, but still,
yeah.
why not?
Let's do this. Do not want you to see or whatever it is, but
It's
yes.
on the back, so I can't.
Yeah, so I want each and every card to be out there so that we
Okay.
can probably. Yeah, so come on, close your eyes first. Yeah, pick up a card. Let's
I
see.
can, okay. I want a purple one.
You want a purple one? Everybody wants a purple one today.
I will go
Yeah,
with this one.
It's all right. Let's see what your card
It
says.
says always on divine time.
Okay.
Now, what does
Oh.
that
I'm
mean? Always on
always
divine
on
It
time?
means
divine
whenever,
time.
I mean, everything in its good time. Whenever it's time for something, it will happen. Don't rush after it.
So yeah, you just have
It's
to.
like maktoob, right?
Yeah,
I really believe in
maktoob,
you
maktoob.
just have to lay back on the couch and be like, yeah,
Oh, it's
whenever
on
the time's
divine
right, man, it's right. Okay.
I like
Okay.
it. I
let,
like
let
it.
me see. What am I going
Yeah.
to pick up? Okay. Yeah,
What number does it say?
It's
Something.
19.
Something over
Oh,
here.
does it have something else as well?
Yeah, so it's
Okay.
like there's a guidebook, and the number that you get, you have like a reflective journal and supportive action steps to go with
Perfect.
it.
So
Okay, what
it
are your
will-
steps to do today?
I should reflect on the thoughts that do I tend to fall into the traps of what society considers age specific?
Age
Okay,
specific.
this is
Yeah, age
this is
specific.
a big deal. How will releasing this pressure help me and my happiness? Well, this is insightful actually.
Wow.
And the actions that I can actually do to follow this is trust the source that created us all. I do. Focus on giving and being your best while simultaneously releasing the attachment of outcome or when it will happen. Just show up today, I suppose.
Yeah.
The second part is really hard to be
Focus
honest.
on giving, yeah. You probably need to treat us as well, your entire team.
I will,
but I think
absolutely.
it's my turn very quickly.
Yes, do
because
it.
we've
Then
short
I'll
of
find your
time.
page as well.
So, wow. I already got the number one card, ladies and gentlemen, and that too from the bottom of the deck. Committed to put yourself first. Wow. I think this is for me. Okay, so
Yeah.
number one.
So Shazad, you have to think what are the big areas in my life on everyday basis.
Okay.
And you have to think where can I fit myself in and how do the big areas benefit when I
Yeah.
feel my best.
Yeah.
And the actions that you guys, if you want to follow what Shazad found out, that is put yourself first for today
Yeah.
is bump yourself at the top of your list, plan one step in the following, your mind, your body, your soul, and track the habit.
Oh, that's wonderful. Which is why, I think that, it's magical and there's a reason because somebody 2 days ago just told me that for whatever you're doing today, it should actually hold something for you in future, and I think that it definitely replicates with that as well. But Summer, we're not going to give it to you because you're the one who created it, so you pretty much know how, or probably
So
you've
you
gone
do
through
get to
this
pick a
journey as well.
card.
Quite
But
a
thank you
lot.
very much for joining us. And
Thank
for
you for
anybody
having
who
me.
actually wants to order this very amazing product of yours so that they can make sure that they're living a healthy and a better life with their mind, body and soul being in sync, how can they order?
So through my Instagram page, the
Which is?
website is in process as well.
Okay.
So Holistic Heaven PK on Instagram. That's how they place their orders.
Wow, that's wonderful. Thank you
Yeah.
very much, Holistic Coach,
Thank
for
you.
joining us. It was wonderful
Thank
to
you
have
so much for
Yes,
having me.
absolutely.
And
I
for
think-
everybody who's out there,
Yeah, absolutely. I think you learned something, and I think you really, because this, like Summer said, this is not selfish. Putting yourself first will be beneficial for everyone around you and for yourself, of course. But she has better things to say. So if you need a holistic life approach, you know where to go.
Yeah.
And Shazad, what did you learn from today's show?
well, I think what I've learned is that I'm going to put myself in the first place,
Yes.
and yeah, you come second. All right, ladies
It's
and gentlemen,
all right.
you write to us, do write to us on our Facebook page, which is with the name of,
Well this morning.
on Twitter,
Well this morning without a G.
on Daily Motion and YouTube.
It's Well this morning under PTV World.
Exactly, and the fabulous repeat is going to be at?
5 past midnight.
Exactly. I was just kidding, but yes, ladies and gentlemen, I think it is very important for all of us to reflect upon whatever has been within us, whatever we've been thinking, whatever we think is good for us. We really need to go with our instinct, with our intuition as well. So please make sure to do that as well. Look after yourselves. 1, 2, 3.
Good morning. Stay safe.
Bye.